Okay. So now, Miss Sandra Parker, and you know your part was called "The Fear of Authenticity." Ooh, I love that. Just the title is just like, okay, yeah. Tell us a little bit about yourself and.
I am Sandra, and first of all, I am a writer.
Ooh,
And
okay.
so, a part of me becoming a part of this project actually came. I was working on a different project with Daya, and um, a part of that title had the word authentic in it. And so, as we were digging deep into the authenticity part, I shared with her a story that I hadn't really shared with anybody. And so we kind of talked about that. And so I was at the Changing Faces when she offered the collaboration, and I did not. I did not
Oh, you
sign
did
up. I
not?
did not,
Right.
and I did not sign up. And I saw, everybody signing up. No, I did do the first collaboration, removing the face with a Dio, and let me just say, I knew that I could write, but I did not think I was a writer. I knew that I could write. I knew that God had given me a gift to write, to say words and to write words on paper, but it never dawned on me that I am a writer. And so I did not sign up for the collaboration, and I ended up getting a phone call one day. And it was from Daya. And it was not, hey, how you doing? It wasn't anything like that. It was, you're going to do the collaboration. I was like, oh, I didn't sign up. And she said, I know, but you're going to do the collaboration. She was like, you have to. And I was like, oh, okay. And she kind of, we've been talking about being authentic, and you really strive on being authentic. And I was like, oh, okay. She was like, the fear of authenticity. And I was like, oh, okay. And so that's how I became a part of the collaboration. And so, and like I said, a part of my journey is me working on being authentic, which is really, really difficult. I told a story in my chapter in the Removing the Face collaboration talked about me not knowing my strength. And that came through a story of a relationship, an ex-husband who said some words to me. And so I started to believe those words that he said about me. And so I realized that particular instance, along with some other things, caused me to live a facade. I lived as an imposter. I was concerned about what people would say, what people would think, because what I knew for sure is that other people had an opinion of me. And so that opinion, I had to keep up with it. And so I lived, I was less genuine. I wasn't real. Nobody knew it but me. And so the fear of authenticity, I talk about my mother. I talk about my mother, and I realized in talking about my mother catapulted me understanding that there were some things over here that I hadn't released. And then what I felt about my mother caused me to act a certain way with these things over here. So it all came together. I didn't realize it until I really, really did the work, really, really did the hard work to say, ugh, that's not the real me. That's not the real me. And so I had to come to a place where I didn't care what people thought about me. And I started to say what people think or say about me is none of my business. It's none of my business. And so after the hard work, I really, really started to embrace the person that God created me to be. It's hard. It's hard. The fear of authenticity, I've overcome parts of it. It still resurfaces from time to time. But because I know that I put in the work it's easier. It gets easier each time.
One of the things, okay, so they paint me out to be like this coach that is just relentless, right? But one of the things with Sandra, when I think about her chapter, I remember saying to Sandra, when we think about authenticity, because her and I were working on a separate project as it relates to, you know, her embracing her authentic self. And so when it came to removing the fear, I remember saying to her, you are not a liar. When we talk about being authentic, you are not a liar. So then what are you afraid of? They hate that question when I ask it. But what is it that you are really afraid of when it comes? Because you talk the authenticity talk and you live in that space. So then you have to dig deeper. You are going to do this project because you need to dig deeper and figure out what is it that you're really afraid of. Because if you are authentic and you're not a liar, then what is it about authenticity that scares you? And that's where we had to do the work in that space. So.
And that work came, it came from, again, being what other people wanted. And I talk about the fact that I did not love my mother. But to me, that was not supposed to be. How could you even verbalize those words? Because society says that's not what's supposed to happen.
That's right. And just to interject, because that's what really caught me when I first read that. And you said that was my childhood memory of my mother. I had been too ashamed to admit, but I knew there was no escaping it any longer. I was exposed and there was no turning back. As I wept, I found the strength to be real. I did not love my mother. That's tough right there.
It's tough. And I remember, oh my goodness, I'm getting emotional thinking about it, but I remember saying those words to Dio. And I think that was really the first time that I actually verbalized it. I knew that I held it here, but to actually say out loud, the truth of the matter is that I did not love my mother. I don't even know who she was. I know that she birthed me, but at 7 years old, how much do you really know? And there were bits and pieces of my mother that I remember seeing. I remember bits and pieces where I felt like mothers are supposed to nurture. I'm a mother myself, so I'm a nurturer by nature. That's what I know. My grandmother raised me, and even as she raised me, she was a nurturer. And so when I saw all of these things that were supposed to be, as opposed to what I actually received, like it just didn't add up. And so to actually say out loud, I did not love my mother. Freeing, yes. Hurtful, yes. Because then I think a part of it was I was still trying to protect my mother. Because if I said I didn't love her, then there has to be a why. Why don't you love her? And then when I started to say I didn't love her because of this, it kind of painted her as a bad person. And she wasn't even here to defend herself. And so that all of those emotions were really, really hard for me. Really, really hard for me.
And, I think, when you talk about being authentic, a lot of it is what people's expectations of you are. It's, whether you're a people pleaser or whatever it is, it's like you're sort of doing what people expect. So you're not a fake person. You're not I was a people pleaser, and I know I wasn't fake. I was a nice person, a good person, but you do what people expect you to do and say what people expect you to say. So you're not being who you are, and it's. So you're not being authentic, right? But it's different, and just I think playing a part to please people and playing a part to get over on people. I think that's two different,
Because
parts.
my story was the people pleaser. I wasn't trying to get over on anybody, but I think I didn't label all of those things because to me, being authentic was being not real or not genuine was really the way that I was supposed to live.
Right.
I never
get it.
thought
I
about
get it. Yeah.
I'm being a people pleaser. That wasn't the label I gave. This is just the way I'm supposed to live, because this is what I've always lived. And I realized when I put in the work and the hard work is that you have not been living. You have not been living as Sandra. You've been living to please people. You've been living to live up to other people's expectations. So it took some really hard work. And the thing is, what are you really afraid of? I'm afraid of telling the truth of how I feel about my mother because other people love their mother. Other people say, that's your mother. How can't you love her? You're supposed to love her. Who says I'm supposed to love her? Who says that? And the thing becomes, who is they? Who is they? And so when I realized they didn't matter anymore is when I really could come out and be my authentic self. And it's so freeing. It's so freeing.
Wow. That's good. That's good. And you go on and you say forgiving and loving myself was a major part of overcoming the fear of authenticity. Yeah.
Yeah, because when you don't live in your authentic self, you're basically telling God what he created wasn't enough. Wasn't enough. And I just always think about all the things that God made at the end, he said, it is good. And that includes me. Yes. And so I had to come to a point that perfect, no, but good, yes.
That's good. Yeah, that's good. And towards the last part, you say, when we are in tune with our authentic selves, we become more connected and our relationships with others are deepened.
It is because people want to see the real you. They don't want a facade. They don't want your representative. They want the real you. And so when you show up as your real self, you actually give them freedom to do the same. And so that's when you begin to build authentic relationships.
That's right. And I look at it like people that can't accept your realness. If I got to be perfect, if I got to have a perfect marriage, if my life's got to be all this, because that's what you like, then those are the people you don't want to be connected to. That hit hard for me because I was sort of doing that for a long time. Yeah. And I will tell you, a fake plant is not gonna be able to weather a real storm with you. And I realized that I was connected to people who wanted, I couldn't be real with them because they couldn't have accepted it. They couldn't have, people like the glitz, the glamour. They like a pretty life. They like beautiful, people like everything. And, sometimes I think that's why people have to put on a mask. People have to be fake because when you get real with people, some people can't take realness. They can't take, my house isn't perfect. My life isn't perfect. My work isn't perfect. Sometimes that's too heavy for people, but I think that when you make the decision to be authentic, God brings you the right people. He brings you the right people that can handle the good, the bad, and the ugly.
And I often say,
that's good.
When I in the dating scene, is that I'm a licensed minister. And so one of the things that I purposely withhold is the fact that I'm a minister, because I want that person to be their authentic self. I don't want you to tiptoe around me because I'm a minister. I want you to be who you are, and then that allows me the choice of whether I want to be with you or not. And so I don't divulge that information in the beginning because I really want you, I want to see you. I want to see you. I don't want to see your representative. I want to see you. And so later on, okay, so this is the real person. And that person, and when I divulge that information, it gives them the choice of whether they want the person that they see as well. So it's just really about being who you are.
That's it.
Your authentic self.
Your authentic
and it feels
self.
so good.
It feels so good. It's so good, and it's freeing.
And that means I need people who can tolerate, not even, I don't know if I want to use the word tolerate, but I need you to be able to sit with me in my pain.
Absolutely.
So if you can sit with me in the glory of it all, and up here, I need you to be able to sit with me in my pain. And for me personally, that's how I've been able to weed out. That's how I've been able to clean out my circle. Because in those moments where I'm in the trenches of it all, I don't have the energy to put on a facade. There are moments I just need to be real, raw, in my own authentic pain, in my own authentic way. Just let my hair, emotionally let my hair down and not have to worry about being judged. So you have to find those people.
And to actually have all of those emotions and to be able to say it in my own authentic voice. And you are able to accept that because it's not sugarcoating. It is authentic voice. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I love that. Whew, okay, I did not expect that to come, but like I said, I guess you get your own words back if you ain't ready for it. Okay, let's let's keep it pretty. Let's keep it, okay, yeah.
But the thing about that, it's not pretty. The process is not
the truth
pretty.
of the matter is, this is not going to be pretty all the time.
Yeah. But it's freeing and it's liberating. Yeah. And it helps you live a life without regrets. Yeah. Because that's some of the worst thing to do is to be living a life with, I wish I would have, I wish I did, but being able to say, I don't have to regret what I did, what I said. You can just be you and be okay with that. Yeah. And you have those people that are around you that are okay with it.
You said a couple of times that this is not anything to play with. Like if you ain't ready, don't read it. And I think what's interesting is the book is really pretty. It's pretty. It's packaged very nicely. And people think, oh, I can read that. Okay, well, you're going to find yourself in all the pages, right? And I think, one of the hardest things about watching other people cry, what happens when you watch somebody else cry? It makes you want to cry, right? And so that's why people don't want the authentic you, because if you tell me the truth about how messy your house is, then you're going to know that my house is messy too. And so I want you to go ahead and lie to me so I can keep lying to you.
Ooh, that's good.
I want you to lie to me so I can keep lying to you.
Ooh,
yeah.
That's good. That's good.
But the truth of the matter need a little cleaning right now.
Right. And I'm not a liar.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't do it. I can't do it. That's good. Guys, I will tell you, that was an amazing episode. I've said this before, we are committed to helping you launch deeper. So you don't want to miss an episode. You don't want to miss, coming up soon will be Masterclass number 2. And the way that you stay connected on all of our social media platforms is launching deeper. And we definitely want you to go to our website, launchingdeeper.com, because that way you can sign up for our weekly newsletter. That is going to keep you in the know. You don't want to miss it. Stay connected. Watch next week because we will be dropping the next episode of Fireside Chat. Thank you guys for joining us.